Chair recognizes Representative Huberty for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I move to suspend all necessary rules, take and consider House Bill 21, which is not eligible until 2:50 a.m. on August 16th.
Members, you've heard the motion. Is there objection? There is objection. A record vote is requested. A record vote is granted on the motion to suspend the rules. Clerk, ring the bell. Have all voted? There being 122 ayes and 17 nays, the motion prevails. Chair lays out House Bill 21 with Senate amendments. The clerk read the bill.
HB 21 by Huberty relating to the public school finance system.
Chair recognizes Representative Huberty.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, House Bill 21, when it came back, when it voted out the floor, over 130 members of this body voted to fund public education as a start. Last night, the Senate changed it dramatically, and at this particular time, there's about $350 million that they put in. In addition to that, they put TRS Care in here, the Finance Commission. Let me tell you what's in it first, and then I'll be happy to answer any questions. There's $60 million for charter facility funding, $60 million for EDA, $42 million phased in for the small school district adjustment. There's $150 million for hardship grants. Districts are ineligible if their water expenditure in 15-16 is exceeded by 120%. The mechanism of finance is the HHSC transfer to TEA funds. There were some floor amendments. Obviously, some of the senators got some things they wanted. Texas City ISD fix. They did tighten the language on the charter facility to make sure it's used for facilities only. There is the $212 million for the TRS card for the retired teachers that we talked about. They did put House Bill 23 in there, a $20 million grant for autism, and they added an additional $20 million grant program for dyslexia. Unfortunately, they took it down only to a 2-year program, so you'll have to come back next cycle and deal with that. They also put in to repay the MCO deferral as soon as possible, and they created a school finance commission. Members, to say I'm disappointed is an understatement in what's happened. We tried for the last several days to negotiate a package that would be more in line of what we thought the people expected us to do. We visited with the governor on multiple occasions, Speaker, and we have decided that, with all due respect to the Senate, that and you members, that I feel like I let you down, but we're going to move to concur. I think this is the right thing for us to move forward. We have to take care of our retired teachers. Very important for us to be able to do that. We have to take care of our ASETAR school districts that run the risk of closing. You know, the small school adjustment and the autism and some small things that we've done, I think, are important as well with that. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Mr. Stickland, for purpose. Does the gentleman yield for a question?
Of course.
Chairman Huberty, I just want to make sure this does not include any of the rainy day fund or the ESF, correct?
That's correct.
And this is it the same number that the retired teachers were asking for in the other bill?
It's the same number that Chairman Ashby had originally put in the bill during the regular session that was taken out, and now that we're putting back in. But it's the $212 million. It's the language that was agreed to with Chairwoman Huffman and Chairman Ashby had negotiated that, and Chairman Zerwas was involved in that as well. Yes, sir.
I know there's some disappointments in different areas, but I, for one, am glad that some of us took a very tough vote on retired teachers from the rainy day fund. So I'm thankful that we are going to get to make them whole and have found another means. So thank you all for voting yes today.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Gutierrez, for what purpose?
Mr. Speaker, parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
The rules of the House, parliamentary decisions are made by our rule book. Is that not correct?
Yes.
They're also made through precedent.
Precedent's very important, yes.
And also we sometimes use Robert's Rules of Order as well.
We do not.
Is there ever any precedent on the House, Mr. Speaker, on a motion to divide the question?
It has been done before in very rare circumstances, such as an impeachment.
Mr. Speaker, it would seem to me that we have an issue with 3 different subject matters in it. And rather than call a point of order, I at this time would like to make a motion to divide the question into three different issues that are at hand.
Mr. Gutierrez, would you come down and discuss this with us, please? Representative Gonzalez, for what purpose?
Mr. Speaker, does the gentleman yield?
Of course.
Gentleman yields.
Although think it's going to be hard for us to have a conversation, but we'll keep trying. Chairman Huberty, like you, I'm extremely disappointed about the Senate's changes to the hard work that you did in HB 21. I was particularly concerned, though, about some of the things they did put in. Can we talk a little bit about the funding mechanism for a second? The deferral to the MCO. Specifically, what I'm concerned about is last night when the Senate was debating, there were questions from Senator Lucio and Senator Menendez regarding whether or not there would be an impact to individuals' services, and there was no clear answer on the impact of services. And so I was wondering if you were able to, if you had any answers regarding how potentially people could be impacted from the deferral.
Well, I watched the same debate, and I believe that the discussions around this were that's why Senator Schwartner offered the amendment to make sure the MCOs were paid back. The MCOs have determined that now. Actually, it's an HHSC transfer to the TEA fund, so they can use whatever strategy that they want. And as you know, in many cases with Health and Human Services, like we've done before, perhaps it's we come back in 2019. With a supplemental budget to be able to fund those. So we really created a strategy for them to be able to deal with that internally.
But we've already put in a $1.2 billion for deferral for HHSC, correct?
If you say so, I believe so. I don't have that number off
yes,
with
sir.
me.
On appropriations, we did that one. So
Okay.
it's an additional, bringing us to nearly a $2 billion deferral going into the 2019 session.
And I if you're going to get on those kind of technical questions, I might defer to Chairman Zerwas so that he might be. Would that be a better person to answer your questions?
No, that's fair. I have a few questions, but
Sure.